Hello all dear students, welcome to online learning session. Today we are going to understand standard 7th science chapter number 7, weather, climate and adaptations of animals to climate. Now in this chapter these are the topics we are going to cover: 7.1 weather, 7.2 climate, 7.3 climate and adaptations. So let's get started with this chapter. Do you remember the things that you were asked to pack when you were heading for a hill station? When the sky is cloudy, your parents insist that you carry an umbrella. Have you heard your elders in the family discuss the weather before planning any function? You must have also heard the experts discussing the weather before they start the game. Have you ever wondered why? So many a times what happens when there is a function, when we want to plan a function, the family members discuss about the weather, or when any event of the sports will start, the sports person, the experts discuss the weather, isn't it? And they think about it. Yeah, today that is a very fine sunny bright day, today the weather is cloudy, today the rain will come, like that. So weather may be profound effect on the game also. It has a profound effect on our lives also. Many of our daily activities are planned based on the weather predicted for that day. There are daily reports of the weather on the television and radio and in the newspapers. But do you know what is weather really is? So in this chapter we will study about the weather and climate. We will also see how different forms of life are adapted to the climate of their habitat. So we are going to understand about the weather, climate, and there are different forms of life which are adapted to their habitats in the climate. So let's understand 7.1 weather. Now in figure 7.1 in the book you can see sample of a weather report from a newspaper is given. We find that the daily weather reports carries information about the temperature, humidity, rainfall during the past 24 hours. You might have seen in the newspaper it is written like this: temperature, humidity, rainfall of about 24 past hours ago. So what is this? It also predicts the weather for the day. Humidity, as you know, is a measure to moisture present in a air. Now here Bujo is wondering who prepares these reports in the newspaper. We are getting the certain reports of weather, isn't it? Temperature, humidity, rainfall. Now Bujo is wondering who prepares this report. So the weather reports are prepared by the meteorological department of the government. These departments collect data, temperature, rainfall, humidity, moisture, wind, etc., which makes the weather, etc. makes the weather prediction. Now in a book activity 7.1 about that, cut out the newspaper reports of the week for the last week from any newspaper. If you do not get a newspaper at home, borrow from your neighbors or a friend and copy these reports in your book. Now you can also collect weather reports from the library, paste all cuts out and sheets on a chart paper. Now record the information from the weather reports collected by you in table 7.1. Now in a book a table 7.1 is given. Now that is about weather data of a week. Now date, maximum temperature, minimum humidity, maximum humidity and rainfall according to that newspaper. Whatever information you are having, you need to fit in this table 7.1. So you might be see that rainfall may not be recorded for all the days since it not rain every day. So whether it is you are taking from a particular month, so over there the rainfall column is not possible to fill. So you can leave that space, that is a rainfall column if data is not available. Now in certain informations you might have noticed that it is written that like rainfall is a particular place receives a certain amount of rainfall, isn't it? Now how this rainfall is measured? Rainfall is measured by an instrument called the rain gauge. It is basically a measuring cylinder with a funnel on a top to collect rainwater, isn't it? And which is a funnel type shape which collects rainwater on the top. Now do all the 7 after filling the table 7.1 from the any respective newspaper, after filling the data, do all the 7 days have same maximum and minimum temperatures, humidity and rainfall? According to that table, you just see all the days have same temperature, maximum, humidity, rainfall. The maximum and minimum temperatures recorded may be same for some of the days. However, all the parameters are not same on 2 days, whether it is a minimum or maximum temperature, or we can say humidity or rainfall, it varies. So over a week there may be considerable variation. Over a week it may be considerable variation. So now let us understand the weather. The day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called weather at that place. So we can say that the day-to-day condition of an atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called the weather at that place. So we can also say that this temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, this etc. these all are the elements of the weather. Okay, temperature, humidity and other factors, this is our rainfall, wind speed, are the elements of the weather. So we can say that the weather of a place changes day after day and week after week. It cannot remain constant. It varies over a week or day to day. So we often say today's weather is too humid or too hot, or we can say today's weather is warm as compared to last week. So the weather is such a complex phenomena that it can vary over very short periods of time. So we cannot predict a weather. It is not easy to predict a weather because it is a very complex phenomena. It can happen sometimes that it is sunny in the morning but suddenly clouds appear from nowhere and it starts raining heavily, or heavy rain may vanish in a matter of minutes and give away a bright sunshine. So you might have several experiences. So try to recall any such experiences and share it with your friends. Since weather is such a complex phenomena, it is not easy to predict. So these are the elements of the weather: temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. are the elements of the weather. Weather reports are prepared by the meteorological department of government, and rainfall is measured by an instrument that is known as a rain gauge, which has a funnel top when which rainwater is collected. Now you can see in a book a graph is given about the maximum temperature recorded during the 3rd August, that is 2006 to 9 August 2006 as Shillong, that is Meghalaya. You can see the maximum temperature from the 3 to 9. You will see somewhat variations in the temperature. 26, it falls from 26 to 23, then it rises on 5th, that is of 25. On 6th it's again fall 22, 25, that is rise on 7. Again it's fall and rise 23 and 24 respectively. So as it is clear from any weather report, the maximum and minimum temperatures are recorded every day. Now do you know how these temperatures are recorded? You might have learned in chapter number 4, isn't it, that there are special thermometers to measure such temperature, isn't it? You might have understood about this. So we can say that there are some special thermometers for this purpose. We can say maximum and minimum thermometer. Now can you guess when during the day there are maximum and where are that minimum temperature rises? So we can say that the maximum temperature of a day occurs generally in the afternoon, while the minimum temperature occurs generally in the early morning. So we can say minimum temperature generally occurs in the early morning and maximum temperature occurs generally in the afternoon, or we can say middle of the day. Now can you now understand why summer we feel so miserable in the afternoon and comparatively comfortable early in the morning? Yeah, early in the morning we feel comfortable, or weather is somewhat pleasure, isn't it, cool, pleasant weather. but after the time pass, we feel somewhat not comfortable when we reach at the mid of the day. The temperature is rising. Why this happen? Why these all are changes around this happens? There is the only answer is the sun. All the changes in the weather are caused by the sun. The sun is a huge sphere of hot gases at a very high temperature. The distance of the sun from us is very large. We know the distance between us and between we and sun is very large. So even then the energy sent out by the sun is so huge that it is the source of all the heat and the light on the earth. We receive heat and light energy from the sun. So sun is the primary energy that causes changes in the weather. Energy absorbed and reflected by the earth's surface, oceans and the atmosphere plays an important role in determining the weather at any place. Now if you might have feel several experiences, if you live near a sea place or sea line, you have realized that the weather at that place is different from the weather is different from the desert, isn't it? You might have noticed that weather at sea area and weather at a desert area is totally different. Or we can say if we live near a mountain area, that also the weather is different. So what about the time of sunrise and sunset? You know that in winters it becomes dark early in the morning, isn't it? And you know you do not get much time to play. Are these days are shorter in winter than in summer? Try to find out yourself by completing the project at the end of the chapter. At the end of the chapter there are some questions is given in the external learning. You can answer that. We know that in winter seasons sun rises late, isn't it, and sets early. And opposite we can say in summer sun rises early and sets late in summer. So this is a major phenomena. So students, this is about weather. So we can say after understanding the weather that the day-to-day condition of our atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called the weather at that place. And these temperature, wind speed, rainfall, humidity are the elements of the weather, and it is not easy to predict weather. We know that it is a complex phenomena, and these weather reports are prepared by the meteorological government department of government, which prepares a report about this. So this is about the weather. We also understand that there are special thermometers are there for purpose for this recording everyday temperatures. So we can say special thermometers are there for this purpose, that is a maximum and minimum temperature. We had also understanding all the changes occurs in the weather is caused by the sun. So this is about the weather. Now after understanding about the weather, now let's understand about the climate. Now we all know that meteorological departments records the weather every day. So what they do, they preserve these records. They preserve these records for past several decades, we can say. So this helps us to determine the weather pattern at a place. So we can say the average weather pattern taken over a long time, say about 25 years, is called the climate of a place. The average weather pattern, weather की जो pattern निकलती है after preserving the records by the meteorological departments after 3 decades. So we can say the average weather pattern taken over a long period of time, say for 25 years, is called the climate of the place. If we find the temperature is at the place is high most of the time, then we say that the climate of that place is hot. If there is also heavy rainfall on most of the days in the same place, then we can say the climate of that place is hot and wet. Now look in the table 7.2 and 7.3. It has given a climatic conditions of the two places in India, that is Srinagar, that is Jammu and Kashmir, and 7.3 Thiruvananthapuram, that is in Kerala. Now in this both information about the climate is given: month, mean temperature, mean total rainfall, that is daily minimum and maximum temperature, the average is taken. So what is the mean temperature? Mean temperature for a given month is found in two steps. The very first one, we can say find the average of the temperatures recorded during the month, which is recording in the month particular, and second, we calculate the average of such average temperatures over many years. So that gives the mean temperature. The two places are, that is Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir and Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. You can see that here over we can see the difference in the minimum daily minimum and daily maximum temperature. Generally it has rounded numbers. Okay. So we can say by looking at the table 7.2 and 7.3, looking at the climate of that Srinagar and Thiruvananthapuram, we can easily see the difference in the climate of Jammu and Kashmir and Kerala. We can see that Kerala is a very hot and wet in comparison to Jammu and Kashmir, which has a moderately hot and wet climate. Similarly, data of the western regions of India, for example, Rajasthan will show that the temperature is high during most of the part of the year. But in the winter, which lasts only for a few months, the temperature is quite low. So this region receives a very little rainfall. So we can say the temperature, the place is very dry also. Desert climate, isn't it? So we can say it is a hot and dry. The northeastern India receives the rain for major part of the year. Therefore we can say the climate of northeast is wet. So we can say that the different climates of different places, Kerala we can say hot and humid, Jammu and Kashmir moderately hot and humid, Rajasthan hot and dry because it receives a very little rainfall, northeastern India that receives a heavy rainfall, that is a wet and humid climate. So from the weather pattern, from the weather reports pattern, it is kept for a long time. Say over here 25 years, from that weather pattern, the climate is set, identified. So we can say the average weather pattern taken over a long time, say for 25 years, is called the climate of that place. So this is about the climate, and different place have different climatic conditions. Kerala is a hot and humid, Jammu and Kashmir moderately hot and humid, Rajasthan hot and dry, desert place, isn't it? And it also receives very little rainfall, less rainfall. Northeastern India, which receives a heavy rainfall and humid, so we can say the wet and humid climate. So this is about the different climate of different places. Now let us understand about the climate and adaptation. So let's understand about climate and adaptations. Climate has a profound effect on all living organisms. So let us understand first adaptations. So we can say organisms develop special features and habits to help them survive in certain conditions in which they live is called adaptations. So all animals are adapted to survive in the conditions in which they live. Animals living in very cold and hot climate must possess some special features or some special characteristics to protect themselves against from the extreme cold or heat. Recall from chapter 9 class 6 that definition of the adaptations, features and habits that help them to adapt to their surroundings are a result in the process of evaluations. उस हिसाब से वो रहने लगते हैं according to the climate, and it also helps some special features and habits to help them sustain in that climatic condition. In chapter 9 you will also learn about the effect of weather and climate on soil also. Here we will study about the effect of climate on animals only. Now as examples of adaptations, the animals to climatic conditions, we discuss only the animals living over here is polar regions and tropical rainforest. So in this climate and adaptations, we are going to understand about the climate and adaptations of these two polar regions and the second one tropical rainforest. So let's first discuss about it. As the name suggests, polar regions are situated near the poles. So first we will discuss about the polar regions. We all know polar regions, ice lands, isn't it? It is situated near the poles. So that is North Pole and South Pole. Some well-known countries that belongs to polar regions are Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Alaska in USA, Siberia regions of Russia. Now let us understand about some of the countries, well-known countries of the tropical rainforest are found in India, Meghalaya, Malaysia, that is Brazil, Republic of Congo, Kenya, Uganda and Nigeria. So these are the places where these two climatic conditions are found. So let us discuss about the first polar regions according to that climate. What is the climate? We know that and which types of animals are adapted in this region. So polar regions are present under extreme climate. These regions are covered with the snow and it is very cold for most part of the year. We all know for the 6 months the sun does not set at the poles, while for the other 6 months the sun does not rise. In winters the temperature can be as low as minus 37 degrees Celsius. Animals living there have adapted to these severe conditions. So animals which are found in these polar regions are adapted to these severe conditions. Now let us see how they are adapted by considering the examples of polar bear and penguins. So according to polar regions we will discuss about the two adaptations, two animals adaptation, that is one is polar bear and second one is penguin. We all know polar bears have white fur so that they are not easily visible in the snowy background. So it protects them from their predators. It also helps them into the catching their prey. To protect them from the extreme cold, they have a two thick layers of fur. They also have a fat under the skin. It has also a layer of fat under the skin. In fact, they are so well insulated that they can have to move slowly and rest often to avoid getting overheated. Physical activities on warmer days, what they do is on warmer days. They necessitates to cool because they have fat underlayer, two fur skin, isn't it? So to avoid getting overheated, they have to be move slow. So what they do is in summer days to keep them cool, polar bear goes for swimming. So it is a good swimmer. Its paws are wide and large, which help it not only to swim but also walk with ease in the snow. While swimming underwater, it can also close its nostril and can remain underwater for a long duration. It has a strong sense of smell so that it can catch its prey. It has a very strong sense of smell, so it can catch its prey easily for the food. So here you can, in the picture you can see about the polar bear adaptations. Now let us understand about the another well-known animal living in the polar region is penguin. It is also has a white margins well with the white background. It also has a thick skin and a lot of fat to protect themselves from the cold. You may have seen in the pictures that you have find penguins are generally huddled together. Why they are huddled together? Because this they do to keep themselves warm. Just like we feel warm in a packed hall, which is a hall full of people. You can just see in the picture of penguin. Now like polar bears, penguins are also good swimmers. Their bodies are streamlined, isn't it? In class 6 you would understand about the streamlined. In the gait of animals you would understand about the fish, isn't it? The fish body, tapers at the both ends and on the middle of the portion well somewhat broad, isn't it? Streamlined body which easily swims. So you had understand about the streamlined in class 6. So penguins are also good swimmers. Their bodies are streamlined and their feet have waves, making them good swimmers. So this is about the penguins. On other animals apart from these polar bears and penguins, other animals are also found in the polar regions. They are known as the different types of fishes, musk oxen, reindeers, foxes, seals, whales and birds. It also be noted that while the fish can remain under cold water for long, birds must remain warm to survive. They migrate to warmer regions when winter sets in. Isn't it? We know that various birds migrate due to escape from the extreme climatic condition for the better survival, or we can say for the comfortable or hospitality climate. They come back after winter is over. You know probably that India is one of the destinations of the many of these birds. You must have seen or heard about the Siberian crane that comes from Siberia to places like Bharatpur in Rajasthan and Sultanpur in Haryana, and some wetlands of the northeast and some other parts of the India. So different types of birds are found in the different regions after over there. Now we understand that birds migrate to escape from the extreme climatic conditions, but how these birds are able to move, isn't it? How they came to know? So they are having a different sense, isn't it? Some migratory birds travels as much as 15,000 kilometers to escape from the climatic conditions at home. Generally they fly high where the wind flow is helpful and the cold climate conditions allow them to disperse the heat generated by their flight muscles. But how these birds travel to the same place year after is still a mystery. It's a still mystery how these birds travel after some time. It seems that these birds have a built-in sense of directions and know in which directions to travel. Some birds probably uses landmarks to guide them. Many of the birds may be guided by the sun during the day and stars at the night. There is some evidence that birds may use the magnetic field of the earth to find directions. And it is not only the birds that migrate, even mammals, many types of fishes and insects are also known to migrate seasonally in search of more hospitable climates. So they are having the different purpose. Only reason is not to escape from the climatic condition, for their survival, for their hospitable climate, for sometimes for the laying their eggs, for breeding period, they migrate from one place to another. So this is about these polar bears, penguins which are found in the polar regions. We had understood about the adaptations, isn't it? They are living in the extreme cold climate conditions, but their body structure is that they can easily survive in the polar regions. Polar bears are fat underlayer, too thick furs of skin, so it can easily survive in the polar regions. Even penguins has a lot of fat which protects them. Its body is a streamline shape and it has a fit webs which easily swims, which makes them good swimmers, isn't it? So polar bears, penguins and other these animals are easily whales, seals, reindeers, oxen are easily survive in these polar regions because their body is adapted to certain climatic condition. Now after this, let us understand the another aspect, that is the tropical rainforest. What type of climate, what type of animals are found, how they are adapted to this tropical rainforest. So let's understand about this. Now we all know the tropical rain region has generally hot climate because its location is around the equator. वो equator के आसपास होता है, so it's generally hot. Even in the coldest month, the equator temperature is generally higher than about we can say 15 degrees Celsius. During hot summers, the temperature may across 40 degrees Celsius. Days and nights are almost equal in length throughout the year. So these regions get plenty of rainfall. An important feature of this region is the tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforests are found in Western Ghats and Assam in India and Southeast Central America and Central Africa. Because of continuous warmth and rain, this region supports a wide variety of plants. So wide varieties of plants and ultimately wide varieties of animals. The major types of animals living in rainforests are monkeys, apes, gorillas, tigers, elephant, leopards, lizards, snakes, birds and different insects. Now let us understand about the adaptations of these animals to a hot and humid climate. So this tropical climate rainforest is a hot, isn't in a hot and humid climate we can say. And these polar regions are having extreme cold. So the climatic condition of rainforests are highly suitable for supporting enormous number and variety of animals. Since the numbers of animals are large, there it is intense competition for food and shelter because wide varieties of plants, so more animals are encouraged towards them. Many animals are adapted to living on the trees. The very one popular is a red-eyed frog. It fits to help it climb trees which lives. It helps them to live on the trees. Monkeys have long tails which grasp branches easily. Their hands and feet are such that they can easily hold on to the branches. We had seen monkeys grasp on the branch. As there is a competition for food, some animals are adapted to get food not easily reachable. So a striking example that is bird toucan. Now you might have seen the bird toucan, you can see in the book also. A bird toucan has a long beak, so which possess a long beak, long and large beak. This helps a toucan bird to reach the fruit on the branches which otherwise too big to support its weight. अगर जो उसकी बॉडी का वेट सपोर्ट ना कर सके उस ब्रांच पे वो नहीं बैठ सकता, बिकॉज इट हैज़ अ वेट. सो व्हाट हैपन्स फ्रॉम दैट लॉन्ग एंड लार्ज बीक द बर्ड टोकन कैच इट्स फूड. नाउ मेनी ट्रॉपिकल animals have sensitive hearing, sharp eyesight, thick skin and a skin color which helps them to camouflage. Camouflage means changing ability of colors. Camouflage by blending with the surroundings. According to the surroundings, it's camouflage, it's change color. This is to protect them from the predators. Special example over here, that is from big, for example, big cats, that is lion and tigers have thick skin and sensitive hearing. You might see in the lions or tigers have surroundings, what type of they are having, isn't it? According to that they adapt. The lion-tailed macaque, also called beard ape, lives in the rainforest of Western Ghats. You can see in the book picture. Its most of the outstanding feature is silver white mane. Now, what is a mane over here? We can say growth of long hair around a neck, which surrounds the head and the cheek down to its chin. Now, this white mane, silver white mane, we can say that lion-tailed macaque is a good climber and spends a major part of a year of the life on the tree. So it feeds mainly on fruits, also it seeds, young leaves, stems, flowers and birds. This beard ape also searches for insects under the bark of the tree. Since it is able to get sufficient food on the tree, so it rarely comes down on the ground. Another well-known animal of Indian tropical rainforest is the elephant. We all had seen elephant, isn't it? Now it has adapted to the condition of rainforest in many remarkable ways. We can say that its trunk is long. It has nose because which has a strong sense of smell. The trunk is also used it for picking up food. Moreover, its tusks are modified teeth which helps them to tear the bark of the plant or trees that animals love to eat. So the elephant is able to handle the competition for food rather well. Large ears of the elephants help to hear even very soft sounds, and they also help them elephant to keep their cool in the hot and humid climate when they are waving their long ears. So for that it keeps their body cool in the hot days, hot and humid climate of the rainforest. So these are the different animals which are found in the tropical rainforest. That is a red-eyed frog. We had seen about the adaptations. Lion-tailed macaque, elephant, bird toucan. These all are different various animals are found in the tropical rainforest, and these animals have sensitive hearing, sharp eyesight, thick skin color which helps them to camouflage and which also helps them protect from the predators. So these are the adaptations of these animals according to tropical rainforest. So we had understand about the two climatic conditions, that is of polar region and tropical rainforest. Now after understanding this climate and adaptations, now let us revise some of the points which we had already learnt in this chapter. Now the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed is called a weather at that place. The weather is generally not the same on any 2 days and the week after week. The maximum temperature of the day occurs generally in the afternoon, while the minimum temperatures occur generally in the early morning. The times of sunrise and sunset also changes during the year. All the changes in the weather are driven by the sun. The average weather pattern taken over a long period of time, say 25 years, is called the climate of the place. The tropical and the polar regions are the two regions of the earth which have a severe climatic conditions. Animals are adapted to the conditions in which they live. The polar regions are very cold throughout the year. So the sun does not set for 6 months in a year, and in the other 6 months it does not rise. Animals in the polar regions are adapted to the extreme cold climate by having some special characteristics such as white fur, strong sense of smell, a layer of fat under the skin, wide and large pores for swimming and walking. Migration is another means to escape the harsh cold climate conditions. Because of the hospitable climatic conditions, huge populations of plants and animals are found in the tropical rainforest. Animals in the tropical rainforest are adapted such that they eat different kinds of food to overcome the competition for the food and shelter. Some adaptations of animals living in the tropical rainforest include living on trees, development of strong sense of smell, stronger tails which helps them to grasp branches, long and large beaks, bright colors, that is a camouflage ability, sharp pattern, loud voice, diet on fruits, sensitive hearing, sharp eyesight, thick skin, ability to camouflage in order to protect them from predators, etc. These all are the different characteristics are found in this adaptations tropical rainforest. So in this chapter we had understand about the weather, climate and adaptations of different animals according to that climate. So I hope you understand this chapter very well. Thank you everyone.